He never imagined the truth would come out after he was gone. For years, Valerie Bertinelli stayed silent out of love, loyalty, and pain. But after Eddie Van Halen's death, the woman who knew him best finally decided to speak. What she revealed about their marriage, his final days, and the secrets he carried has stunned fans across the world. This is the moment Valerie breaks her silence. At last, the news of Eddie Van Halen's passing in October 2020 sent shockwaves through the music world, leaving fans, fellow musicians, and loved ones grappling with the sudden void left by one of rock's most electrifying guitarists. Among those publicly mourning the legendary musician, Valerie Bertinelli, Eddie's former wife and mother of his son Wolfgang, took to social media to express her profound grief and personal reflections on the man she once called her partner in life. Bertinelli's tribute was simple yet deeply poignant, centering on an intimate black-and-white photograph that captured a rare moment of familial closeness. Eddie, Valerie, and their young son Wolfgang together. The image, stripped of color, symbolically reflected the gravity of loss while evoking the timelessness of their bond. In her accompanying message, Bertinelli wrote with raw sincerity about how profoundly meeting Eddie had shaped her life, describing him as someone whose presence altered her path forever. The post resonated with fans not only because of Eddie's status as a guitar icon, but also because it provided a glimpse into the private, human side of a rock legend, his role as a father, a husband, and a brother. Beyond the words, Bertinelli's reflections revealed the depth of her gratitude during Eddie's final days. She emphasized that both she and Wolfgang were able to be present at his side, sharing the last moments of his life with him. In her tribute, she poignantly stated, "I will see you in our next life, my love," a testament to a bond that transcended the ordinary challenges of marriage and fame, extending into the spiritual or emotional realm. This expression of enduring love captured the bittersweet nature of loss, the sorrow of goodbye intertwined with the comfort of having been present, offering care and companionship when it mattered most. Reports from that period confirmed that Eddie's final weeks were spent surrounded by family. Valerie and Wolfgang were joined by Eddie's second wife, Janie, and his brother, Alex, forming a small, intimate circle to provide comfort and support. This arrangement illustrated the complicated yet resilient nature of blended family dynamics. Despite past marital splits, the focus remained on honoring Eddie in his final days. Sources indicated that the atmosphere, while undoubtedly filled with grief, was also marked by moments of tenderness, reminiscence, and unity. In January 2022, Valerie Bertinelli offered the world an intimate glimpse into her relationship with Eddie Van Halen through her memoir, Enough Already: Learning to Love the Way I Am Today. Among the many personal revelations, perhaps the most striking was her disclosure of Eddie's final words to her and their son, Wolfgang. Simple, yet profoundly moving, he whispered, "I love you." Those 3 words, delivered in the quiet, vulnerable moments at the end of a life, lived in both extraordinary brilliance and private turbulence, carried the weight of decades of shared history, triumph, and struggle. Bertinelli's memoir did more than recount these last words. It framed them within the complex emotional tapestry of their relationship. She reflected on what she described as almost 4 decades of love, anger, frustration, and friendship. These words encapsulated a bond that was far from simple, one that traversed the extremes of human emotion. Their connection had been tested repeatedly over the years by fame, addiction, and the pressures of the rock and roll lifestyle. Yet it endured in the form of mutual respect, deep understanding, and an unspoken acknowledgement of each other's humanity. Through her writing, Bertinelli conveyed that their love was neither naive nor sentimentalized. It was lived, complicated, and real. A recurring theme in her reflections was the tension between witnessing Eddie's struggles and maintaining her unwavering affection for him. She wrote candidly about his battles with drugs and alcohol, acknowledging the profound impact these had on both their marriage and family life. "I hated the drugs and the alcohol, but I never hated him," she admitted. These words reveal the delicate balance she maintained, recognizing the destructive patterns that threatened the man she loved while separating those actions from the person himself. In doing so, Bertinelli illustrated a depth of compassion and emotional resilience that few could sustain under such circumstances. Also, in the early months of 2022, Valerie Bertinelli spoke candidly about her grief following the death of Eddie Van Halen, revealing the profound depth of emotion she continued to feel despite their divorce 15 years earlier. Though the marriage had officially ended in 2007, Valerie did not hesitate to describe herself as more than willing to put myself in the grieving widow category for Eddie. This statement, at once striking and deeply human, underscored a central truth about their relationship. While their romantic chapter had closed, the bond they shared had never fully disappeared, and her grief reflected the lasting impact of having shared a significant portion of her life with a man who shaped her world in countless ways. Valerie was careful to clarify the nuances of this feeling. She acknowledged that while reconciliation was impossible, "We would never get back together," she said, "there was an underlying understanding between them that remained unbroken." She reflected that if either of them had chosen to open the door, the other would have responded in kind. Yet, she emphasized, this was not an invitation to reignite old flames. It was a recognition of a profound, enduring connection that transcended romantic boundaries. In her view, their relationship could not be neatly categorized as a typical love story. It was something far more layered, born out of shared history, mutual respect, and the enduring bond of family. Central to her reflections was the role of their son Wolfgang. Valerie stressed that what they truly shared was not the kind of soulmate connection often depicted in romanticized narratives, but a deeply rooted partnership grounded in their unconditional love for their child. Their co-parenting relationship had, over time, evolved into a form of companionship and mutual care that endured beyond the dissolution of their marriage. This perspective reframed her grief in a way that was both intimate and profound. She was mourning not just the loss of a former spouse, but also the absence of someone who had been integral to her family's life and to the shaping of Wolfgang's experiences. In May 2024, Valerie Bertinelli offered the public one of her most vulnerable and candid reflections on her past relationship with Eddie Van Halen, prompted by watching her son Wolfgang's Behind the Music episode. The airing of the documentary-style program, which chronicled both Eddie's legendary career and his personal life, forced Valerie to confront memories she had long navigated privately. In a raw, emotional video shared on social media, she admitted that certain parts of the show were too brutal to watch, not because of external judgment, but because they forced her to re-examine the intimate realities of her past, both as a mother and as a former spouse. Valerie's reflections revealed a profound and often painful self-awareness. She acknowledged that in her mind she had, over the years, built a fantasy soulmate recreation of history about her marriage to Eddie, a mental reconstruction that softened the fractures and elevated the romance beyond the day-to-day struggles they actually endured. The documentary, by presenting unvarnished truths and juxtaposing personal decisions with their consequences, broke through that mental narrative. Watching Wolfgang reflect on his own experiences and seeing their family life through an external lens forced her to face the aspects of her marriage she had sometimes downplayed or rationalized. The deterioration fueled by drugs, alcohol, and infidelity. In her own words, when stripped of nostalgia and idealized memory, nothing screamed soulmate. Yet, even amidst these painful realizations, Valerie conveyed a sense of honesty and emotional clarity that resonated deeply with her audience. She did not shy away from admitting mistakes, moments where she perceived herself as falling short as a mother or as a partner, nor did she attempt to cast blame solely on Eddie. Instead, she framed these memories as part of the intricate and sometimes messy reality of human relationships, where love, imperfection, and resilience coexist. By confronting the truth of the marriage, she illuminated both the heartbreak and the growth that came from shared experiences, revealing the nuanced dimensions of love and family that often escape public narratives about celebrity lives. Central to her reflections was the enduring significance of Wolfgang, whom she described as the greatest gift of their marriage. Despite the turbulence that had defined much of her relationship with Eddie, she reiterated that her love for him was complicated but real. It was not a love untroubled by mistakes, missteps, or pain, but one rooted in shared history, deep respect, and the family they created together. Wolfgang, as both their son and a living embodiment of their bond, became a lens through which Valerie could process both grief and gratitude, recognizing that even relationships that falter in romantic terms can produce something enduring and meaningful. The video was widely praised for its emotional authenticity. Fans and followers noted Valerie's willingness to share the private, sometimes painful truths of her life, confronting not only her own memories but also the public perception of a marriage entwined with rock legend status. By articulating the tension between her early idealizations of the relationship and the unflinching reality she observed in the documentary, Valerie demonstrated a rare capacity for reflection. She acknowledged imperfection, embraced vulnerability, and celebrated the enduring bonds that survive beyond romance. Even years after Eddie Van Halen's passing, Valerie Bertinelli continues to grapple with the deep and persistent sense of loss left in the wake of his absence. In 2025, she shared a poignant tribute via social media that revealed the ongoing emotional resonance of her connection to Eddie, despite the passage of time and the intervening complexities of their shared history. In her post, she candidly admitted, "Some days I really do miss you," a simple statement that carries layers of nostalgia, grief, and enduring affection. It is a reminder that the loss of someone who shaped both her personal life and her family is not something that can be neatly cataloged or resolved. It is a presence felt daily, in both quiet moments and the milestones of life. Valerie elaborated on the loud absence that Eddie's death has left in her life, capturing the paradox of mourning someone who is no longer physically present, yet whose memory is vividly alive. Her reflection focused particularly on the shared pride and joy she and Eddie felt for their son, Wolfgang. She described the intimate conversations, the shared excitement over his accomplishments, and the small victories in Wolfgang's life that used to be theirs to celebrate together. "Who do I yap to when there was really only one person I could talk to about Wolfie?" she wrote, underscoring the void left not only by Eddie's absence, but by the disappearance of a companion who understood her perspective and shared her love for their son. The phrase conveys a profound sense of loneliness that is both tender and universal. Losing someone close often means losing the audience for our own daily joys and worries. In the same tribute, Valerie reflected on her belief that Eddie would be immensely proud of Wolfgang, a sentiment that underscores the enduring impact of their family legacy. Despite the challenges and turbulence of their past, their shared love for their son remains a source of connection that transcends death. She reminisced about attending Wolfgang's shows together, cheering him on from the sidelines, and experiencing firsthand the joy of witnessing his talents blossom. "I will never not miss being able to experience that with you," she wrote, encapsulating a layered grief that intertwines loss with memory, love, and the unfulfilled desire to share these milestones with Eddie. Valerie's reflections highlight the duality of grief that is both deeply personal and publicly felt. While much of her loss is private, the silent moments, the internal longing for conversation and connection. She also shares it openly, allowing fans and followers to witness the enduring bond between her and Eddie. Her tribute is at once a commemoration of his life and a meditation on the nature of enduring love. It is complex, persistent, and multifaceted, encompassing admiration, partnership, and the quiet heartbreak of absence. Beyond mere remembrance, Valerie's words underscore a profound truth about relationships and legacy. Even when a marriage ends or a life is cut short, the emotional and familial imprints of that person remain, shaping experiences, memories, and ongoing bonds. In reflecting on Eddie, she honors not only the father of her child and the partner of her past, but also the man who brought joy, love, and music into her life. Her tribute in 2025 demonstrates a remarkable blend of honesty, vulnerability, and enduring devotion, offering a moving portrait of how grief, memory, and love coexist long after the final farewell. It is a testament to the fact that some connections, rooted in family, shared experience, and profound affection, transcend both time and circumstance, leaving echoes of presence that continue to be felt deeply even years later. What do you think about Valerie Bertinelli's revelations about Eddie Van Halen? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.